الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. All praises due to Allah, and may peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tonight is the night of the 15th of Rabee Al-Aakhir, 1446, and the 17th of October 2024. And we're still on the series titled The Criminals of Hell, episode number 15. And I think and I believe we are onto the criminal number 14. Just checking on this. Bismillah. Yeah, we are on criminal 14. So the class is 15 and the criminal is number 14. And the criminal tonight is linked to the criminal last 2 weeks, and that is when we started talking about the tongue. Started with the riba, which is the backbiting, and now we're going to a backbiting plus, and that is called a namima. Backbiting plus, because you see the namam and the namima is a very dangerous disease, the very bad manners, and the namam is the one who might take your words and not, lie, will take them in what they are, but he intends to create problems. He conveys them from one person to another in the same manner, but in order to create a problem between you two. That's the namam. So the namam is not really necessary to be a liar. No, he could be truthful. He could be conveying the truth, but his intention is to create problem, and which split the jama'at and split the brothers. They said, the scholars, that the namam would ruin in 1 hour what a magician or a sorcerer cannot ruin in a whole year. Can I just ask you, brothers, to get closer to me? By the way, I smell nice. Inshallah. The ones in you're okay, but the ones yeah. Forget about the camera. The camera is not for me, my customer. Last customer, I look over the camera. I need power. This is on, yeah. Jazakallah. Right. Ahmed, you are in control. Where's your Ahmed? Put your hands up if you are there. See, some people are not muting themselves. Please mute yourself. Jazakallah. I don't have a control here. Rabee, control yourself. I'm sorry, mute yourself. That's Rabee. Right. The namima, as I said, is basically a big crime. And the person who's a namam, he is a criminal in the Quran and also in the Sunnah. For example, we say in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he called these people al-kha'idun. وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ. We used to indulge with those who are talking. Talking about what? Talking about anything but halal, anything but good. Something which is evil. Chit-chatting, backbiting, lying, not lying, namima. I don't know what's the word for namima. I mean, the good translation for the word namima, namam. But this is a person, huh? Gossiping. Gossiping, sometimes this person doesn't intend to create problems. You understand me? That's not, the man is actually, he's doing it for the sake of splitting. Bad intention. The ghiba, he doesn't have bad intention. He could be good intention. But he said, like for example, Aisha, when she's talked about Safiya, hasbuka innaha qasir, hasbuka, which is just short. She doesn't intend, to defame her or something. But she said to the Prophet that this word, because she doesn't like it if she had heard it. So then the man, no, he's got the intention to break the problem, break the jama'ah, break the loves between the jama'ah, make the father against his son. Wallahi. So for example, a woman who's, let's say, second wife, she might tell her husband to be very bad towards her, the children of his from the other wife, by making namima. Look what he's doing. He's been saying this, he's been talking this. It could be true, but she said it for the way to break the relation between the father and the son. Allah He said, كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة. Each soul is accounted for what it does. إلا أصحاب اليمين, except for the ones on the right. في جنات يتساءلون. They are in paradise, asking one another. عن المجرمين, about the criminals. ما سلككم في سقر. They say to them, what made you to go to hell? قالوا, they said, لم نكن من المصلين. We're not for the people for used to pray. قال ولم نكن نطعم المسكين, and we don't really feed the poor people. وكنا نخوض مع الخائضين. And we used to indulge in the speeches of their idle speech and the gossiping, like he said, like with the ones. And this is the reason why the person will be going to hell, because he is indulging in something that would incur a grievous or a major sin upon him. Also, the Namam is a criminal because he's from the worst of people, that he split brothers and lovers. And how many brothers they've been split, and how many fathers has been split from their children because of the namima. Prophet he said, Shiraru ibadillah, the worst of the people of the creation of Allah, al-masha'una bin namima, the ones who does the namima, al-mufarriquna bain al-ahibba, the ones who split between the lovers, and al-baghuna al-bara al-amat. So those are the ones who are the namamun, the one who is Allah Azza wa Jalla said, hammazin masha'in binamim. طيب. Also Allah He said, Inna sharra dawabi inda Allah. Very, the worst of animals in the sight of Allah, as-summu al-bukmu alladhina la ya'qilun. The ones who are sum, deaf, bukum, they can't speak, and la ya'qilun, the ones who do not comprehend, have got no common sense. وَلَوْ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ فِيهِمْ خَيْرًا لَأَسْمَعَهُم. If Allah knew good in these people who are worse than the animals, then لَأَسْمَعَهُم, He will make them to be able to hear, to take the good. وَلَوْ أَسْمَعَهُمْ لَتَوَلَّوْا وَهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ. And if He had to make them to hear, they will go away and leave. So the Namam is actually, he's similar to those animals who are the worst of animals, which Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إِنَّ شَرَّ الدَّوَابِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الصُّمُّ الْبُكْمُ. The worst of animals, the one that cannot hear, cannot speak. And Namam, he's got two tongues of fire. Yes, because he comes to some people with a face, and he goes to the other people with a face. Allah Azza wa Jalla, through His Messenger He said, Sharrun nas, the worst of the people, dal wajhain, the one who's got two faces, double face. He comes to you, gives you sweetness, honey. And then in your back, he will give you what? Stabs. Same thing, he goes to the other people, will give them honey. And then in their back, he will give them stabbing in the backs. SubhanAllah. So the Prophet he said, Tajiduna min shirar nas, the worst of all the people you find, alladhina yatuna dha biwajhin wa dha biwajhin. Dal wajhain, the one who's got two faces. He comes to this group with one face, and then come to another group with another face. Subhanallah. And the Prophet he said, Man kana dha lisanayn, he was got two tongues in this dunya, ja'ala Allahu lahu lisanayn min nari yawm al-qiyamah. Allah will make him two tongues of hell, of fire, on the day of judgment. So you'll find this person in hell, and he's got two tongues like a dragon of fire. And these tongues of fire, straight away you'll know that this person he was doing namima. And namam is doing acts from the acts of the hypocrites. Because the hypocrites are the ones who come to this person with a face and another person with a face. Like Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا. These hypocrites, when they face the believers, they will say, we believe. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. And if they are with their devil people, they will with you. But just taking the nikar and the other ones. So those people who are the hypocrites, مُذَبْذَبِينَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ لَا إِلَى هَؤُلَاء وَلَا إِلَى هَؤُلَاء. They are fluctuating. They're not to this, not to that. They always give you the face which is satisfies you. And they will give you something that will make you happy that he's speaking about the enemies of yours. Then you go to your enemies, he will give them something they like, and he will give them something as well against you. That's who is a hypocrite. As Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ تُعْجِبُكَ أَجْسَامُهُم. And if you look at them, Muhammad or Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, these hypocrites, you like their bodies. They look nice, they speak nice, they are, mashallah, very good words. وَإِن يَقُولُوا تَسْمَعْ لِقَوْلِهِمْ. And if they speak, you will listen to them. Why? Because they mesmerize you. These people have got words. They know how to get you. قال كأنهم خشب مسندة. بسم الله. They're like khushub. Khushub means plural of khashab, which is like piece of wood. Musannada, that means being left alone, and it's got no benefit. Khushub musannada. It's not a tree that grows up, gives you fruit. يحسبون كل صيحة عليهم. They believe everything like a cry is against them. That means they are cowards. So they jump. And this thing is going to be getting us. They're really cowards. هم العدو فاحذرهم. They are the enemies. Be alerted, O Muhammad, against them. قاتلهم الله أن يؤفكون. May Allah fight them wherever they are and because of their forged lies. This Nammam also, he is a betrayer. Betrayer is a kha'in. Kha'in al-amana. Why? Because he had taken the words of yours, which is supposed to be in privacy, a words which is not supposed to be conveyed. He's taken it to another person for the sake of creating problems and hatred and a fight between you and that person. True or not, the person is a traitor. And the Prophet said, Al-majalisu amanat. That the gathering, when you sit, they are privacy. They are having their, you could say, safeguarding for them. That means you're not allowed to convey anything in the majlis. I said to you something, akhi, about something and about somebody. Once I break relationship between me and you, and then you straight away take my words and give it to the other person. A'udhu billah. That's an ammam. And then ammam is a betrayer. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, Inna Allah la yuhibbu al-kha'inin. Allah Azza wa Jal does not love the ones who does not like, He hates those kha'inin, betrayers. Inna Allah la yahdi kayd al-kha'inin. Allah Azza wa Jal will not make the plot of the kha'inin to be guided, no way to be winning. Inna Allah la yuhibbu al-kha'inin wa innahu lakadhalik la yahdi kayd al-kha'inin. Inna Allah la yuhibbu kulla khawanin kafur. This person is a betrayer, treacherer. A'udhu billah. The khiyana is definitely from the manners of the hypocrites. Prophet ﷺ, he said, أربع من كن فيه فهو منافق خالص. That is from the four things or characteristics. If you are having these four characteristics, then you are a pure hypocrite. What are they? All of them rotate around a betrayer, a person who betrays, a person who lies, a person who trying to make enmity between you and your brothers. So he said, قال إذا اؤتمن خان. If he's to be trusted, he will betray. It's number one. Number two, وإذا حدث كذب. And if he's to say things, he would lie. And then Imam will lie, because if you ask him, you sure that he said it because he doesn't like me? He said, yeah. So he lie as well. He would add things. So إذا حدث كذب. وإذا وعد أخلف. And if he's to promise, he will break his promise. وإذا خاصم فجر. And if he's to be in a quarrel, he'll go haywire. He'll lose the plot. He'll start swearing. His tongue will be all over the place, just because of a small dispute between you and him. That shows how mannerable he is. A'udhu billah. The Nammam, also as I said, is a kadhab. He's a liar, because he is lying by corrupting the relationship between you and your friends and your brothers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allah la yahdi kulla man huwa musrifun kadhab. Allah Azza wa does not guide the one who is extravagant and he is a liar. Allah Azza wa, and also the Prophet he said, Inna al-kadhiba yahdi ila al-fujur. Verily the kadhib will lie to corruption, will lie to mischief. وإن الفجور يهدي إلى النار. And corruption and mischief will lead to the hellfire. وإن الرجل لا يكذب ويتحرى الكذب حتى يكتب عند الله كذابا. And the person would lie and strive to lie until he will be recorded with Allah Azza wa Jal as to be a liar. And Nammam is the one whom Allah Azza wa Jal called al-mufsiduna fil ard. They spread mischief in the land. How come? Why? Because, as I said, they corrupt the relations between the people. So those are the ones who all the time go into the land and run everywhere in every direction in order to spread the hatred and the enmity and the grudge between the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had addressed this. He said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Verily, the believers are to be brothers. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Verily, the believers are to be brothers. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. Rectify, fix the relationship between your brothers. That means in case it being corrupted, in case it is being ruined. Now the Nammam does the opposite. What he does is not going to be fixing, but he's ruining. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, you brothers in Iman, fix the problems between your brothers, not to go and ignite the problems between your brothers. That's why he is mufsidun fil ard. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla, he said, وَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ ذَاتَ بَيْنِكُمْ, and fix between you, and you are, these people are doing it, A'udhu billah, then he is from those people who are making ifsad fil ard. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. To rectify is good, to come to settlement is good, to come to peace together it is good. لا خير في كثير من نجواهم. There is no good in so many of the things that they say, إلا, except من أمر بصدقة أو معروف أو إصلاح بين الناس. Except the one who commands with sadaqah, that means charity. أو إصلاح, or that fixing between the people. أو معروف, or to give generous things, to give good things or kindness to the people. ومن يفعل ذلك ابتغاء مرضات الله فسوف نؤتيه أجرا عظيما. And he who does this for the sake of Allah, Allah will give him a mighty reward. So those namam, والعياذ بالله, the namun, the ones who spread the namima, they are actually the opposite. وَإِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا وَيُهْلِكَ الْحَرْثَ وَالنَّسْلَ. And Allah said, if he just let go to this land, he will just come to ruin not just people, everything, even al-harth, corruption into the animals, corruption into the land, corruption in everything. وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَسَادِ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهِ. And it's been said to him, fear Allah, أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. He will just be sort of pride in his sin. He will not say, what did you do? اتق الله حسبك فحسبه جهنم ولبئس المهاد. Jahannam is his abode, and what is a destiny, an evil destiny for you. Allah Azza wa Jal, he had talked about those namamun in the curse, لهم اللعنة ولهم سوء الدار, and they are the worst because they're going to have the hellfire. So the namima is a crime, and we have to address it, and we need to know how to tackle it. The namima is worse than the ghiba, as I said. And the namima includes three things: lying, and includes as well ghiba, backbiting, and definitely includes as well tajassus. What is tajassus? You are penetrating the privacy of other people. You try to spy onto them. So this is namima, ghiba, and also it is tajassus. You're lying, you are backbiting, and you are actually starting to go into penetrating the privacy of other people. We call it spying on other people. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ijtanibu kathiran min adh-dhann. Oh, you who believe, avoid so many of your bad gestures or bad thoughts or suspicions. Inna ba'd adh-dhanni ithm. Verily, so many of your thoughts, it could be leading you to be a sinner. Then Allah said, وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. Don't spy against one another. قال ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا. And do not have ghiba, backbiting to one another. أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه. Do you like to eat the flesh of your brother when he's dead, and you hate to do so? واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. Fear Allah. Allah is the merciful, and Allah is the one who accepts the repentance. So he said, ولا تجسسوا. Do not make tajassus, which is to spy on one another. Prophet he said, Ya ma'shara man amana bilisani. O assembly of Muslims or believers who had believed in their tongues, وَلَمَّا يَدْخُلِ الْإِيمَانُ فِي قَلْبِهِ, and the iman still did not penetrate his heart. لا تغتابوا المسلمين. Do not backbite the Muslims. ولا تتبعوا عوراتهم. And do not follow their shortcomings. Do not expose their shortcomings. And by the way, when he says do not do it for the Muslims, it doesn't mean you could do it for the non-Muslims. We said it the last time. فإنه من اتبع عورة أخيه المسلم تتبع الله عورته. If you go and follow the shortcomings of your brother, then Allah will expose your shortcomings. ومن تتبع الله عورته. And if Allah is going to expose your shortcoming, He will expose you even if you are in the middle of your house. والعياذ بالله. طيب. So if you have known now the reality of those namamun, so you have to be careful from number one, namima, and number two, from the namam himself. So there's an important question here, and you need to answer it. The question is, how do we deal with this namam? I know there's a namam, and I'm sure that most of you, they know there are some people, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, they are namamin. How do I treat him? How can I go about with this, I could say, the filthy-minded person? He's a criminal. He's a'udhu billah. Well, if he's to die, don't go to his janazah. A'udhu billah. Namam, as I said, he ruins in 1 hour more than the sorcerer can do in 1 year. Oh, first of all, if somebody comes to you with namima, and you know him, said to you, such and such, brother, such and such, he did said thing, and he said it against you. First of all, do not believe him. That's how we're going to kill the namima. That's how we're going to give no room for the namamun. We'll give them no room. But because everybody listens to the other, wallahi, by this. Okay, so number one, don't believe him. Because if he did that to that person and you listen to him, he will do it to you as well. He will do it against you. He will say namima against you. So the namam is fasiq, is a rebellious, is a bad person. whom his testimony is not to be accepted. His testimony, it will not be accepted. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. O you who believe, if a rebellious came to you with news, then verify it. Why? قال أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة, that you might strike people with ignorance فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين, and then you will become regretful. So تبينوا, that means verify. Don't just say, okay, well, it's really true. No, what you just said. First of all, I will not believe him, especially if he's rebellious, is known. Secondly, I will command him to taqillah, say to him, fear Allah. How can dare you to say this? Just like if you remember, who is that person who said it to another person? If you remember, talked about that story of whom? Ka'b ibn Malik, if you remember, when the Prophet ﷺ was in the Battle of Battle of Tabuk, and he was far away, all the companions all with him except for the hypocrites and 3 companions. One of them is Ka'b ibn Malik. And he, Prophet of Allah, he asked, where is Ka'b ibn Malik? One of his relatives or his tribe, he said, well, he's busy looking at himself and beautifying himself. I mean, he's not coming to the, the battleground. So I just حبسه النظر في بردين وفي عاطفه وفي بردين. Mu'adh ibn Jabal stands up and he says, woe to what you said. We know nothing except for good about him. Prophet of Allah is happy with this. Happy that there's somebody has stood to defend the brother. And if he defended the brother while he's absent, Allah will deflect the fire away from you in the day of resurrection. So imagine the fire is coming to you in the hellfire. Allah will deflect it away from you. من ذب عن عرض أخيه ذب الله عنه النار يوم القيامة. It has to be in his absence. Look at Mu'adh ibn Jabal straight away. Woe to what you said. We know nothing except for good about him. He wanted to use this, that he did not come to the battle. He's a coward. He's just busy himself to look at himself in the mirror. A'udhu billah. So if this person is a namam, you tell him, fear Allah, ittaqillah. Allah really said, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Help one another in birr and taqwa, good, righteousness. And don't help one another against sin and grudge and enmity. Prophet said, ad-deen al-nasiha. What is ad-deen al-nasiha? The deen is based upon sincere advice for the sake of Allah. So you say to this person, ittaqillah, and tell him that most of the people will be in hellfire because of what their tongue had harvested. Yes, what the Prophet said. أكثر ما يكب الناس على مناخرهم ووجوههم في النار يوم القيامة حصائد ألسنتهم. The thing that make the people to go to hellfire on their faces, on their noses, is the harvest of their tongues. Tell him, أمسك عليك لسانك وابكي على خطيئتك وليسعك بيتك. Meaning, keep to your house, akhi. Keep your tongue in check and weep over your sins instead of talking about other people. Weep for your sins. Look at what you've done. Fear Allah. If you said this, no namam will start having any sort of market. There's no market for the namam. But the people listen. That's the problem. Not only listen, they do something else. They straight away have a bad opinion about that brother who's been told about. You're not allowed to do that. Always think good of that person who's been this rebellious person told you about him. So you should be straight away thinking good of him. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He told off the companions. When those companions had heard these rumors which is spread by Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul about whom? The honor of Aisha. لولا إذ سمعتموه على المؤمنين والمؤمنات لأنفسهم خيرا. لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن. That if when the time when you heard it from this rumor that is talking about the honor of Aisha, that she's been doing a'udhu billah fornication with Safwan ibn Mu'attil, if you had heard this, ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا. The believing male and the believing female, if they had just good opinions about one another, وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. And they said, wallah, this is a great lie. If they said this, that woman would have been killed. But because they started conveying it from one person to another, none of them, they said, be quiet. How can you dare? Not just, this is Aisha, this is the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. How can you dare to say that about him, about her? So Allah Azza wa Jalla, He had taught the companions. If you heard it from the first time, would have told off these people. No, cannot be true. This is not. And that's what Abu Ayyub, he said to his wife. when this rumor started to grow, and still the ayat from the Quran was not revealed to exonerate Aisha, Abu Ayyub is asking his wife, "You've heard about this?" No, the wife of Abu Ayyub, she's Ayyub, she's asking, "Did you hear what Aisha said?" "Yes, I've heard." "Would you do it?" She said, "A'udhu billah." That means fornication. "Well, Aisha is better than you. You will not do it as well." Look at that. "Would you do it?" She said, "No, A'udhu billah." "Well, Aisha is better than you. She will not do it." He's telling his wife, Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, better than you. She will not do it. That's how you kill the rumor. But unfortunately, this person will not just go as far as this. Once he hears that a man talks to him, he will go and make tajassus, spy on this person. Let me prove what that person said is correct or not. Let me start listening to him while he doesn't. Let me watch him from him. Let me go and ask other people, did he say it true or not? A'udhu billah. You should not be spying. Once you start spying onto that person, that means you have fallen into the sin. وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. Allah says, do not spy on one another. So as soon as you hear the person talking about this person, you should straight away hate him for the sake of Allah. And you tell him, Wallahi, I hate you for the sake of Allah. Would this man go to other people, do such a thing? No way. I hate you for the sake of Allah. Because you're talking about a brother whom we know. I hate you for the sake of Allah. Because you're splitting and you're spreading rumors about that person. Wallah, even if it's true, I'm not going to believe you. Like this. Even if it's true, I'm not going to believe you. Go away. Because you are spreading mischief in the land. You're not, what are you trying? Are you trying to tell me to go and fix the situation? Or are you trying to be making me away from that brother? So if you fix the situation, okay, I understand. You should really ask me to go and help and stop that thing that you said about him. But if you're telling me just to go and hate my brother, no, I hate you for the sake of Allah. Wallahi, if he said this and everybody said this, wallah, nobody will make the namima. A'udhu billah. Also another one. That's the most important thing. Whatever you had heard from that namam, rebellious, don't convey to other people. Kill it. You told him what you told him, attaqillah, but don't carry it. Because this namam will be happy for you to go and convey it to your as well club, to your people whom you know. And then it will be spread. Especially if it's on WhatsApp. Or especially if it's a group consisting of 500, 300, 400 people. And you're just putting a rumor there, a'udhu billah, about a person. This rumor that breeds the namima. This rumor that breeds the kufr, breeds the ma'siyah. So do not, first of all, have good opinion about the brother. Do not listen to that person. Tell him I hate you for the sake of Allah. Tell him ittaqillah. And that is how we will fight the namima. Otherwise, this namima will ruin our society. Wallahi, it will ruin our society. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ. O Muhammad, do not follow all of those who are just making an oath. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. And humiliating the oath for nothing. They make an oath. Hammazin masha'in binamim. He's making humaza. Namima. Humaza means talking ill about other people. Namima, he's putting grudge between people, conveying words from another. Prophet said, لا يدخل الجنة قتات. No way will the person who's a namam qattat will enter paradise. No, he's being threatened. He will not enter paradise. لا يدخل الجنة قتات. Meaning a person who is making the namima. Prophet he passed by two graves. And he said, verily they are being punished. And they're not being punished for something that the people consider to be great. In their sight is nothing. One of them, he does not clean himself after urination. The second one, he's doing namima. And he asked for two palm fronds, palm leaves, to be put into their graves. He took the palm leaves and he put them in each grave. And he said that maybe it will reduce the punishment as long as they are fresh. Now, this is only for those two graves. So you're not allowed to go and start putting palm leaves and palm fronds into the grave of your relatives. Because number one, you don't know if they are being punished or not in the grave. Number two, companions will not do it. Only the Prophet had done it. And the Prophet of Allah, he said that this will reduce just for these two graves as long as they don't get dry. Now, the Prophet of Allah, at the time of his, must be more than one person being punished in the grave. If it was the case, then he would just say, cut me all the trees and give me the leaves, and let me start stick in each grave one of these. But he did not do it. It's only for these two. So that's why we say to the people who think that this is a sunnah and start sticking, I've just seen it with my own eyes, sticking palm fronds, or even they don't have palm fronds, they stick flowers in the graves. That's not correct. So we remind this namam, there's a punishment of the grave. Remind the namam, you're going to be exposed in front of everybody on the day of resurrection. Allah Azza will expose you. Allah Azza wa Jal will darken your face because you are an imam. And that time you will be regretting, but that regret will not going to help you. What are you going to say to your Lord, Mr. Nammam? What are you going to tell him when you start, stand before him, and he's going to ask you, why did you do this? You can't lie. You did it because you want to create problems. You want to be the one who's being praised. You are the one who had actually split between the lovers. So fear Allah Azza wa Jal. How many women have been divorced because of those nammamin? How many fathers disown their children because of the nammamin? How many people have been killed because of the nammamin? How many people have been imprisoned because of this nammamin? So the nammam is an evil, and this namima is an evil. I'm going to tell you a story which we have a very good thing to learn from it. The story here talks about a person who is selling a slave, and he's selling him cheap. And was asking, what is the reason you're selling him cheap, that slave? And he's young. He said, because he's got namima. He's a nammam. So this person who was going to buy the slave, he thought that this is not really a defect. It's not really that thing that we should really consider. We only look at how muscled he is and how powerful he is. Then he's a slave going to help us in whatever we do. But this one, it just talks about namima. So when he brought him, remember, he was a married person. So while he was with them, he went to the wife of this master of his, and he said, I'm going to tell you something. She said, what? Well, my master, I heard him talking about marrying another woman, and he is going to be meeting her, and he told me that he doesn't like you. He hates you. He loves the other woman. So the best thing for you is just to make him not to look nice. During the night, you just come to his beard and cut from underneath his beard some hairs, so he would look funny and ugly, and then he will not be able to meet that woman. That woman, she started thinking about this, what the slave had said, and she plotted to do this thing. This person, this slave, he went to the master, and he said to him, by the way, your wife, she is going on with another guy, and she loves him so much, and because she wants to get rid of you, in order to get with her lover, she wants going to kill you. So I think she plotted for you tonight. So just pretend that you're sleeping, and then you will see what she's going to do. So that guy, that person, he just believed him. And then he pretended that he's sleeping. That woman, she came with a scissor to want to cut some of the hair from the beard. And then when she saw that scissors or that blade, he said, that slave is telling the truth. So he got up, he took that blade from her, he killed her with the blade. Then the family of that woman arrived, and they saw that there were, their daughters had been slain or slain by in front of them from the husband. They killed the husband. See, so this is a small defect in that person called a slave. What he had done, he ruined the life of these two. He made them to kill one another. He killed her, and the family of the wife, she killed him. So that's why you should know how evil this nammam. Alhamdulillah, by this we had come to the end of the criminal number, what? 14. The criminal number 14, who is the criminal. Linked to that criminal is called the liar. Now the liar, if I'm going to speak to him, I'm going to take 2 lectures, but I would like to speak about him fast, inshallah. About 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then we'll give you the time for the questions, inshallah. The liar is actually the founder of the one who does ghiba and the one who does the namim. The liar is a liar. And Allah Azza wa Jal, he had talked about the liar in so many verses. وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذْ وُقِفُوا عَلَى النَّارِ. And behold, when you see them, they are onto the hellfire. فَقَالُوا يَا لَيْتَنَا نُرَدُّ وَلَا نُكَذِّبَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّنَا. They said to the Allah Azza wa Jal, but we hope that we're going to be sent back, so we will not belie the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَنَكُونَ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And we will be from the believers. So Allah Azza wa Jal, he said, بَلْ بَدَى لَهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يُخْفُونَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. What they've been hiding before now is being exposed. وَلَوْ رُدُّوا. And if they be sent back, لَعَادُوا لِمَا نُهُوا عَنْهُ. They will do the same thing that they were forbidden to say. That means they're going to do the haram and the kufr and all of that. So this lying, ikhwani, manifests itself in a number of ways. There is a kadhib on Allah, there's a kadhib on the Prophet ﷺ, lying against Allah, lying against the Prophet ﷺ. So the kadhib, the lying, is one of the reasons to take you to hellfire. We're going to give you some example, inshallah, on these categories. Lying will take you to the hellfire. Lying is from the hypocrite's characteristics. He's a liar. إذا حدث كذب. The liar is actually exposing himself to the curse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال وَأَلَّعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ إِن كَانَ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. The one who is lying against his wife that she fornicated, he will make a fourth testimony. The fifth one, that the curse of Allah upon him if he is one of the liars. فَنَجَعَلْ لَعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَاذِبِينَ. Also Allah said in Surah Al-Imran, we will make the curse of Allah upon the liar. This is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about the mubahala. Let's call ourselves and yourselves, our wives and our wives, and women and your women, and then we will make ibtihal, that the curse of Allah is upon the liar. That was with the Prophet ﷺ with the Christians of Bani Najran. So the kadhib also will prevent the person from reaching the hidayah. He will not be guided. In Allah la yahdi man huwa kadhab. Allah does not guide the one who is a liar. So he's kadhab. He's a denier of the favors of Allah Azza wa Jal. So the kadhib, he has said types. Kadhib upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One who makes a lie against Allah. So what is the lie against Allah? To say something that you have no knowledge of. You make fatwa on something that you are not really knowledgeable. Even if you had hit the target, even if you had the correct answer, but you made this fatwa based upon no knowledge. Once you do this, then you are saying a lie against Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَا تَصِفُ أَلْسِنَتُكُمُ الْكَذِبِ هَذَا حَلَالٌ وَهَذَا حَرَامٌ لِتَفْتَرُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبِ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَفْتَرُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ لَا يُفْلِحُونَ. Don't say what your tongue describes as to be halal and haram, and you don't know anything about that, in order to forge a lie against Allah. Those are the one who does so, then they will not be successful. مَتَاعٌ قَلِيلٌ قال وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. You'll have dunya, things, possessions, but on the day of resurrection is severe torment. Allah Azza wa Jal had combined between the person who says something out of no knowledge with the person who is mushrik. Yes. قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشَ. Say to them, O Muhammad, that my Lord had made haram the fawahish. Fawahish, all the bad things. مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. What is open, apparent, and what is hidden. وَالْإِثْمَ وَالْبَغْيَ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. And also to sin or transgress without any due right. وَأَن تُشْرِكُوا بِاللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يُنَزِّلْ بِهِ سُلْطَانًا. So he had combined between what? Combined between البغي بغير الحق وأن تشركوا بالله ما لم ينزل به سلطانا وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون. And to say unto Allah what you don't know. So to say unto Allah what you don't know is equal to the shirk in Allah Azza wa Jal in terms of the sin wise. Also from the kadhib, the lie upon Allah Azza wa Jal, is not to believe in his names or his attributes or to alter the names. So Allah Azza wa Jal, he says Ar-Rahim, no, he's not Rahim. Tawwab is not Tawwab. Alim is not Alim. Or to alter Allah istawa ala al-arsh, you say no, he's not istawa ala al-arsh. Allah cannot be above the arsh. So you are actually making ilhad in the names of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. There is nothing like unto him, and he's the all-hearing, all-wise. Just those people who are making similarity to Allah are kuffar, and also the people who are denying the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, they are kuffar as well. The ones who are reinterpreting like the Jahmiyyah. The Jahmiyyah is saying Allah's got no names and no attributes. I mean, they're worshipping nothing. From the lying against Allah Azza wa Jal is to say a word like this: Allah has got a son, got a daughter, that Isa alayhi salam is son, and he's one of the triune. All of that are to be a greatest lie against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanahu an yakuna lahu walad. How can he have a child? How? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the lying against Allah, like the Jews, what they said, Inna Allah faqir wa nahnu aghniya. That Allah Azza wa Jal is faqir, means what? Is poor. Yadullahi maghlula. Allah's hand is to him, that means he's stingy. غُلَّتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ وَنُعِنُوا بِمَا قَالُوا. And Allah had cursed him with what they've said. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his yadah mabsutatan, stretched with all generosity. He does not, he's not stingy. He's not as well poor as they said. They said Allah is poor, and when we are rich, أعوذ بالله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will darken their faces in the day of resurrection. قال أليس ويوم القيامة, and the day of resurrection, Allah says, ترى الذين كذبوا على الله وجوههم مسودة. You will see the people who lie against Allah, their faces have been darkened. أليس في جهنم مثوى للمتكبرين. There is a place in Jahannam for those who are arrogant. Now, coming to the kadhib upon the Prophet of Allah. This will, inshallah, be dealt with in 2 weeks' time. That is lying against the Prophet ﷺ. Talking about the hadith, talking about attributing things to the Prophet of Allah, which he did not do. Also from the forging lies against Allah, what the innovators they do, we will adjourn that inshallah, because I could see some people, they want to go home as well. It's 9 o'clock now. So if you have 10 minutes inshallah for the questions, is that okay? MashaAllah, we have a good turn up here, more than you guys in the Zoom. And that's no good. Yeah. Any questions, Ikhwani? If you have any questions as well from the people who are on the Zoom, please raise up your hands. Fadali Ali.
Is there any scenario in which spying is permissible?
Is there any case where spying is permissible? Spying is permissible onto the enemies of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's permissible. It's called gathering intelligence. But spying onto your brothers is not allowed. If you have seen the brother without you plotting did something, you have to actually as well ask, because maybe you're going to interpret it wrongly. Isa alayhi salam, according to the Prophet, this is hadith from the Prophet of Allah, it's not from the Bible. Isa alayhi salam saw a person stealing something from someone. He saw him stealing. So he asked him after, did you steal? He said, by Allah, I did not steal. He said like this. So that Prophet Isa alayhi salam, he said, كذبت بصري, I have belied what I have seen, and I have believed your oath. Because he's made an oath. The scholars, they said, that person could be, number one, taking his own stuff from another person. Number two, he could be like, he's borrowing it and he wants to return it back. There's lots of things there, makes a possibility. When there is a possibility, you can't rule. إذا كثر الاحتمال بطل الاستدلال. That's a principle. When you have many possibilities, you cannot make a decision here. You cannot. إذا كثر الاحتمال بطل الاستدلال. That means it's invalid to make that I believe he's a thief, because there's more possibilities. He's not a thief. When you have more possibilities, then you cannot use that as a proof. بطل الاستدلال. Our Shaykh Al-Albani used to say, the scholars, the Shaykh Al-Albani, the scholars used to say that if you have seen two people, one is chasing the other and the other one is running, and he's got a hat, topi, in his head, another topi hat in his hand, and the one who's chasing him, he's got no topi. What comes to your mind? That the one who's running is stolen the topi of the other person. Don't say that. It could be that topi belongs to him, and somehow he snatched it in a way that he doesn't see it, and he's running in his own hat. But that guy, he took it from him a long time ago. Do you understand me? They're laughing at the word topi, huh? That's Urdu. Is that Bangladeshi word as well? Yeah, mashallah, topi. Okay. Topi means a hat in Pakistani. So don't come to that conclusion. That's why Isa said, كذبت بصري وصدقت حلفانك. I believe your oath and I belied my eyes. Even though he saw him taking the thing, there are more possibility here. So as I said, don't spy, Ikhwan. Somebody wanted to see if that person, he does not answer his calls. This is a real story, Ikhwan. He's telling me. So every time I call him, he doesn't answer my calls. And I believe that he's doing it deliberately. So one day I went to his house to spy on this, and I could see him from the window. And I rang him, and I could see him picking up the phone. And what he did, he looked at it and he left the phone. His brother's telling me. Yeah. And then I knocked on the door, and he said to him, Akhi, I rang you. He said, I didn't see your call. He said to me, you're a liar. I said to him, you are a sinner for doing that. You're not allowed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Maybe he doesn't want to answer you. He's got lots of things. Yeah, maybe he had said a word, okay, I didn't see it. When he said, I didn't see it, maybe he knows this, we call it ambiguous words. We call it in Arabic, al-ma'arid. So he said, I didn't see your call, and he meant, I didn't see the call that you have 2 days ago, not today. Do you understand me? There's lots of things. But for you to spy on this, and he broke his relationship with the brother. I know that he doesn't answer me. So I went there to spy on him. So imagine that you saw his wife. Well, he's got no wife. Well, maybe his sister came. He's making excuses, but I got no wife. What about his sister came? You didn't know. You're going to see her without hijab, just spying from the window to see it. And he looked at the window and he put it there when he saw my. He didn't want to answer you. Why do you want to barge yourself onto it? Allah musta'an. No. If you want thinking like this, Ali, not allowed. طيب تفضل يا مسعود. Let me give you permission. Okay. Bismillah. Yeah, you are allowed right now to talk. تفضل يا مسعود.
Sheikh, is it off the topic? Is it okay?
Go ahead quickly.
Sheikh, if are we allowed to wipe over the sandal when we're making wudu? And what kind of sandal has to be?
Are we allowed to wipe on the sandals? Now, the sandals you're talking about, I don't know, maybe covered from the top. It's not covered from the top. Okay. The scholars, like what? Sorry?
The flip-flop that it does not cover the top.
Yeah. The flip-flop, which has got nothing, no strap, that you can't wipe on that one, definitely. It's got no covering whatsoever. But if you are having it with the socks on, yeah, you could wipe while it's on top of it. So if you have the flip-flop on the socks, no problem to wipe over the sock, and this is on top of it. Okay. But on its own, on the meat, this is very easy to take it off and wash your feet. So wash your feet, akhi, it's better. But you're talking maybe about sandals which are got straps on the top, but it's got holes in the middle, maybe. If that is the case, then the scholars as well differed regarding this issue. Our Shaykh Al-Albani says, Ikhwani, sandal is a sandal. And the Prophet of Allah, he had masaha ala ni'al, wa masaha ala al-jawn. So if it's a strap and you put it on, so no problem. But that one you're talking about is one finger, is a one finger, yeah? That doesn't cover anything. And we don't really say as well that the shoe has to cover the area of the wash. You understand what I'm saying? That's as well another opinion. They say that the shoe has to cover the area of where you're going to be washing your feet in order for you to wipe over it. Where's the proof for this? We don't. We don't know how the jawrab, the socks of the Prophet look like. We don't know how the ni'al of the Prophet look like. Allahu a'lam. And the Prophet of Allah, he had made masah on the ni'al. Ali ibn Abi Talib also made masah ala ni'al. But if you're going to look and shop around for the fatawa, you're going to find lots of things other than myself. I mean, I'm talking from the perspective of what I've learned from our Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah. Okay, but you're going to find, for example, lots of things which say to you, no, it has to be with the socks. And to be ahwab, like Shaykh Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah says, to be more of a cautious about this. But I would say that whatever is called sandal, because the other one is not sandal. We call it in Arabic hafaya. That's not a sandal. Sandal is to be strap. You see, yours is to be like a slipper. Slipper is different. Okay, the slipper that you're talking about, no. But the sandal is like strap and everything. Yeah, you could wipe over it, inshallah. Wallahu a'lam. But as I said, this is controversial. Naam ya Faisal.
Sheikh, sorry. Sheikh, sorry about that. I was trying to unmute. Sheikh, a brother in our community, he just had a baby, his first baby, and he said according to his madhab, he said he's Maliki, that they have to do the aqiqah before the 7th day after birth. So he did his on the 4th day after birth, the 4th day. Is there any such opinion where it's allowed to do the aqiqah before the 7th day?
Just an advice, yeah, Faisal. We're not going to go and investigate in each madhab, correct or wrong. This is not really our students' knowledge. We know the hadith al-Hasan al-Hussein. So this is the 7th day. We want to know why these people adopting this. This is upon them to bring the proof. Okay. So not every person says a Maliki and follow the Imam Malik. So I am not going to be now. We say it in Arabic. Our Sheikh says, لا تخضوا رؤوس الناس. Don't shake the heads of the people about these madhab. Just tell them what is the right thing. So I mean, Faisal, to introduce this, it's going to be making everybody think, oh, this 4th day, 5th day. Forget about it. We have a hadith, which the Prophet ﷺ, he said that to make the aqiqah on the 7th. If you can't, 14th. If you can't, 21st from the day of the birth. He says he's Maliki, he says he's Shafi'i, he says he's Hanafi. You know, he is going to bring the proof. If he said Abu Hanifa said, or Imam Malik said, that's not a proof. That proof is from Allah's Messenger, from Qala Allah, Qala Rasuluhu, Qala Sahaba. Wallahu a'lam. But for me, I have no idea why this person is doing it on the 4th day. طيب إخواني, any question from here? طيب سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I think the class is going to start 7:45 next time. Salah is going to be 7:30, isn't it? 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. 7:30, yes. So 7:45 will start. That will be the best. And I'm really sorry to keep you waiting. Jazakumullah khair.